Hello, everybody. This is your host, Mia. Thank you for tuning in and listening to another episode of the one and only Soul Wave Podcast. Enjoy. Hello, everybody. It is your girl, Mia, and I am back again. And I have something really special for you guys. If you guys check out the title, I have a really awesome guest here today. And it's my good friend, my soul sister for real, Miss Nicole Greco. Nicole, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I am so stoked for this podcast. We've been just kicking it in the stew, bouncing ideas off each other, got a couple of tweets opened up, enjoying the vibes. You know, the moon's in Cancer right now, so we're both feeling pretty nostalgic. And I wanted to just take you guys a little farther into my life. I know I pride myself on trying to be open and vulnerable, raw and organic, but I want you guys to think of me as a friend. And also I want you guys to join my family and my friends' family. I call my friends family all the time. So when I say that, just know I include these core people in my life that me and Nicole are gonna just give you a little entryway on how this all came to be, like a little full circle butterfly effect moment. Are you ready for this, Nicole?
Absolutely. I'm so excited. We recorded something prior to getting onto this episode right now, but as Mia was speaking in the prior episode, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I don't know if I'm going to mess up. It sounds so silly because it's like we were just talking, but as...
There's pressure and it's real.
Yeah, as I was working through those nerves, that was when I got this whole idea. I was like, wait, if this is going to be really like our kickoff episode, I feel like the best thing to do is to just lay down the foundation of how we got here, because it is quite the story. It's been one hell of a, not only a ride, it's been a movie.
Yo,
it's been a movie. I wouldn't change a thing.
I agree. And there's been some ups and downs, but I'm excited to talk about the downs because I think that's a really real thing. You know what I'm talking. Yeah, we'll get there in a second.
Yeah.
But let me take you back in time to the womb. I come out the womb.
Where it all started, 1999.
Yeah, May 10th, 1999. So I've lived in the same exact house my entire life, and I grew up in a small... we both grew up in a small town. We're from the same town. But specifically on my block, all the way down at the other corner, I had a really awesome friend that I'm still really close with. You know, he's part of my family. His name is Matt. And he was like a year and a half older than me. We grew up together. We were doing dumb shit on the block. You know, your typical manhunt, hide and seek. But we had such an awesome childhood. But I'm going to save that for when I get Matt on the podcast, because those are some stories that I feel he needs to share as well. I won't take that away because we're iconic group, Matt.
Stuff.
Shout out him. And so... since then, fast forward now, let's take it to like junior year, summer, heading into senior year of my high school. Was it? Or maybe it was sophomore. No, it was junior, yeah. I have, obviously, Matt on all social medias, and I posted up one time. I was throwing a little house party. Dad's away for the weekend, so I was getting down and dirty with my friends. And he was like, yo, like, can me and my crew pull up? I'm with my girlfriend. And so they came, and who's the girlfriend? Miss Nicole Greco.
Hi. Yeah, so backtracking a little bit, 2014, the end of 2014, December. I'm big with dates. You know, it was December 5th, 2014.
Let it known.
Matt and I met at a football game. And fast forward, because we don't need, that's really the only important part there, was that we met and then we had started dating very, very quickly. Fast forward... I was going to say a love triangle, but it's definitely not a love triangle.
It's just on the third wheel.
A love triangle where it's just homie love.
Yeah.
Homie love, you know? So Matt and Mia have been neighbors basically their whole lives. And I met Mia through Matt. Mm-hmm. And it didn't start off as we hit it off right away, best friends. It took time to get there. And I would say that really started in 2019. The very, very beginning of 2019.
So that was about 2-3 years after. Because it was 2006. I graduated in 2017, so it was summer of 2018.
18. I remember there was you had a party or something in 2018. I have Snapchat videos from it.
Is that the one where we dared Hester to suck his big toe?
Probably.
Oh, man. Okay. Wow, that was such a long time ago. I feel so old right now.
Yeah, right?
Okay, but then it really kicked off Jen's surprise party. So Jen is my cousin. I threw her a birthday surprise party in March of 2019. Mm-hmm. And I posted on my Finsta at the time. Do you guys remember Finstas? I feel like they're still around, but
them.
You really?
I missed them. It was so much fun.
That's why I feel like my close friends is for on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Like, I just have random people on, not random, chosen people.
The chosen ones.
The chosen ones, where I feel like sometimes I need to spit spiritual lyrical on, and sometimes I need to just talk hot shit. And she was like, yo, like, I'll pull up, me and Aunt, it'll be like the good old days. And Aunt, another character to this story, is Nicole's
brother.
Older brother, yeah.
Yeah.
How many years apart are you guys?
2.
Sweet. So, wait. We're missing a very important part of the story. The week or two before that, so 2019, that beginning, so this is March, around like January, I got my very first deck of tarot cards.
Yeah, so this was the end of January 2019. This was my freshman year, spring semester of college, and as all love stories go, Matt and I were at a very bumpy point. I didn't really know what was going to happen, and that was really like one of the, even though I could say like spiritual awakening started in 2017, it really catapulted in 19. So I hit up Mia, and I've only like, you know, known her from like the house parties and whatnot, and I was just like, dude, like I kind of need a shoulder to lean on right now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm nervous. I'm feeling all these things, and to be honest, I'm not feeling like there's going to be a good outcome.
Right.
So
I remember that.
I had messaged her for a reading.
Right, because I posted on my Finsta, I'm like, I just got these tarot cards, guys. Who wants a reading? I was so new to the game, you know, practicing.
I really needed that, like, insight from someone who probably knew enough, but didn't know, like, the nitty-gritty details. And side note, it's nothing messy at all. It was just one of those, like, at the time, like, it just wasn't meant to be at the time. For, you know, what was meant to happen the rest of the year, which we're going to get into.
I feel like everything between you guys were kind of, like, more internal battles with yourselves.
100%.
Yeah, like, there was never an external force. It was always
mind
versus heart.
Ever. Even when I wanted to be, like, the most mad at him, like, at whenever, it was, like, I couldn't. Because he's always had such a pure,
genuine intentions.
Genuine intentions. Like, can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I posted the following week, like, I'm throwing a surprise party for Jen, who's interested in coming. She hit me up, her and Aunt rolled through, and we just started kicking it. We hung out more. We had this one specific night, it was actually 420, how could you forget that date, where I also brought another homie into the mix, my good old, you might know him now by DJ Tony El Tigre. El Tigre. His real name's Anthony, but we just call him Toledo.
That's his last name.
Yeah, but that's his first name, though. Like, his name is Toledo.
Yeah, facts.
Can you imagine being called something else than your first name? Because nobody goes around goes, Grimaldi.
No.
It's either me or bitch. Or jabroni.
You know, actually, it's not often at all, because Aunt gets this one where he's Greco, but I have gotten the last name. Yeah. It's like kind of like Greco Jr. or something.
That's how I referred to Aunt for the longest until, honestly, 2019, where I'll be like, Aunt.
Yeah, now he's Aunt to everybody, yeah.
He's also Aunt Tony to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aunt Tony.
Aunt Tony. Yeah, we have a lot of Anthonys in the group, so we just, like, we paraphrase a little bit. Excuse me,
so
sorry.
It was really, at this point, like we said, the date was April 20th.
Right after, I think it was Easter that day, because I was down the shore, and I came right home. I'm like, man, what's the wave? I'm so excited to hang out with you guys.
That year I think it was one of the Easters that fell on 420. Mm-hmm. And we established TBG.
Oh, man, bro. TBG.
The Basement Gang.
Yeah.
And there's no insider, there's nothing shifty to it. It was simply because we became a group and we were in Toledo's basement.
Yeah.
We were the Basement Gang.
All great things start in the basement. Here we are today in my basement.
The studio in the basement, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You owe me a tea.
I say that. I got it right here.
Dude, that was such like a crazy night. That was also before I even knew it. Me and Nick have this thing nowadays where we'll just like look at each other and we'll be like, yo, I don't know what it is, but I feel like
Something's gonna happen.
Not something's gonna happen, but
something's brewing.
Everything's about to change.
Yes.
Yeah, like an ending of a period of our life and everything. And I swear to God, it was such an ending because
that changed the trajectory of our lives that night in the basement when that really solidified our friendship, I guess I could just say, because literally at that point, we still weren't like, you know, like besties, like telling each other everything. We were just at that point, we were like, yo, this person's cool.
I want to hang out more.
We're going to hang out more. And it was so quickly that we got the group chat going and it was so comfortable. And next thing you know, it was like a Cinco de Mayo.
Oh my God. Holy shit, bro.
We had Flex Fridays going. And then shortly after that, because I was living away at school, still at the time, but the semester was winding down, I knew that I was going to be coming home or closer to the area because I was very homesick, I'm not going to lie, even though I was only an hour away. I was like, I would rather be home. And, you know, from there, I moved out May 7th, 2019, and I think we started working together.
Yeah,
prior to moving out, because I had told the boss at the time.
You're only available on the closer weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not even moved home yet, but like, you know what, I will be for the whole summer at least. Like, let me just start now. Why not? And yo, the second I moved home, I felt like my roots came. I don't even know how to word this, but like they dug deep here. They cemented real deep. In. They dug deep because we had the time of our lives. We were everywhere and back, and the group, which was basically at the time me, you, and Toledo. TBG. That was the OG TBG. You know, 4 core.
Yeah.
No, core 4. Yeah, there we go. I messed that up.
No, you're good.
Fantastic. Dude, that whole summer really, really set everything in stone. And I think, like, we want to go into the butterfly effect. That's why we're starting this episode with, you know, how Mia and Matt grew up together and, like, all that. Because it's how tiny little things that seem like they're insignificant at the time change everything, you know, going into the future. Because at the time, like, I was trying to live my life, trying to start, which I thought was, like, the end for me and Matt, and, you know, trying to heal.
Right, which was,
broken
too.
Heart. And with Ant. Ant was freshly out of a relationship, too, and, like, that was the most healing summer when it was just wholesome with the friends and, dude, just, like, beach days and going to the mall.
And we have,
dressed
like...
in Kygo. It's our insider joke. We didn't actually yet.
Not yet, but people will be looking for a stylist soon. He knows who to call.
Kygo, hit us up.
Yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast yet, but I used to walk dogs. And the best job I ever had, I'm outside getting exercise. Of course, during the winter time, that fucking sucked. I don't know. Who wants to be outside in the snow walking an animal? That wasn't fun. But so I put Nicole on. And so Nicole and her brother shared a vehicle at the time. So Ant was always there dropping you off, picking up dogs too. Eventually, he just got put on to the job as well. So during the summer, we'd work Monday through Friday.
Oh my God, we had the best hours, dude.
You had the best hours. I was working.
You were there early.
I was working 9 to 5, but you know what? That money paid off. Don't ask me where that money is though, because it funded my entire summer. We'd be on a Thursday or Friday across the dog park, shouting to each other, yo, what's the wave for this weekend?
As everyone else is there with their dogs too. Like, normal people just taking their dogs out. You know, you had someone on the bench, you know, like I remember one time, like, I was, like, on no sleep from, like, the night before, because we were probably, like, hanging out on a Thursday.
We'd be out till fucking 12:30 doing dumb shit, then we'd hit up the diner.
The diner.
When it was open 24 hours.
Man.
Just immaculate time. The two, what do we call them? Two most important men? Oh.
The most important person in said area.
Oh, yeah. We would be balling up, playing basketball, and then we'd go get food afterwards, and we'd all go our separate ways, or we hang out in Toledo's basement, just bumping, like, MGK, rehab all night longer.
A fun fact, I don't have the messages still because I'm not like there's like messages because I'm salty about it. But I swear I took a video of us listening to MGK and I was like, guys, I'm gonna send it to him because whatever silly goofy mood. And then I don't know how much like later this was that I checked the messages again and I saw Scene.
That's like crazy. I still can't believe that.
I wish I still had it just to be like, oh my god, look, but like I was kind of salty about it.
No,
you couldn't
totally,
even like it.
totally.
Like, we're bumping your music, bro.
Yeah, no, really.
Like no hate.
No, yeah, we still bump his music.
Oh yeah.
His song "Makeup Sex" with Black Bear was my number one played song this year or 2022. Because a 2-minute and like 15-second song, bro. It was not long enough, so I just kept that shit on repeat because it was such a fire song.
Album? That wasn't that was Bloom. We were listening to.
We would listen to Bloom, yeah.
Yeah, good album, man. Good album.
Let's see, what was that song that I think that was off his Tickets to My Mainstream Sellout.
Yeah, that's the newest one.
Yeah, this song. Yeah, I can't play the whole thing. I don't know about that copyright thing, but that was my fucking shit this year. Good song. And it was just so innocent. Me and Nick, we were hanging out all day. We went to Target. We got food, Starbucks, just chilling. We went to the playground on some kid shit like we did back in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's why I said that Cancer Moon is like kicking right now because they say Cancer is also very nostalgic. Me and Nick have prominent Cancer placements. She's a Cancer rising. I'm a Cancer Venus. So we were just totally in 2019 vibes.
That makes us so compatible.
No, it really does. And Ant's a Taurus Venus. I'm a Taurus Sun.
He's also a Cancer rising.
Toledo's a Taurus rising. I mean, yeah, Toledo's a Taurus rising. Jen's a Taurus Venus.
And a
Cancer moon.
I was going to say Cancer Sun. I was like, no, she's not.
No, she's an Aries Sun, my little firecracker.
But basically, to wrap up the summer... obviously, to wrap up the summer, it was my birthday.
Yeah.
Nothing important happened that year. It was just, we partied for my birthday.
I was stressing out because I was down in the Outer Banks.
Oh, getting back on time. Yes, we were talking
about that
today.
Yeah, and I was stressing. I was like, dude, I need to get back in time. Like, it's Nicole's birthday. Like, I have to get there. I threw a little party, and then my dad found out. He got so pissed off. But then we wound up at, like, another person's house in the area. And was Matt there? For your birthday that year?
At the other person's house.
Not
at yours.
Yeah. So, it was crazy, though, too, because Matt, because of the school he was in, he would go away for the whole entire summer doing school shit. And he came back that time. And Ant and Matt were still really fucking close. They were brothers.
They're literally... I was trying to think of a term... I was going to say soulmates, but I didn't want to paint it to be that way, because it's not like that, but, like, soul brothers. We were soul sisters, they were soul brothers.
No, seriously.
I was, like, looking at Ant, like, giving him a little, like, side eye. Like,
because that's my
with Matt
fucking ex, yeah. We're not on the best of terms right now.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, my God, no, and then, wait, can we bring up this time? Obviously, this happened to you, so you'll remember it best, but also in the summertime, I would grill in my backyard. I'd make these really thin steaks. I'd make some asparagus. I'd make some rice and some salad. And we'd be chilling in the backyard. And then one time, take it away, Nick, because I don't remember the rest of the story.
Oh, man, I remember this like it was yesterday.
But me and Matt were still cool.
100%. And
she never took the feud outside of who you guys, like, you
outside of me and Matt, because I always said, like, you two were friends since the womb. Your parents are friends. I was like, I would feel so bad to try and, like, be the new kid stepping in, being like, no, don't talk to him no more.
Yeah.
Or, like, go to him and say, what are you doing talking to my friend? Because it's like, you guys were friends first.
Yeah.
I would never, ever do anything to try and break that up.
Respectfully.
But there was, at this point, I think it was just, like, maybe I was on, like, my big head, ego, really just trying to protect myself, because
it was Leo season, so.
It was. And anytime it was just, like, at that point, being around him, I was just, like, I gotta protect myself first, because I know, like, all I gotta do is just, like, a long hug, or a handhold, or whatever, and I'd be like, simp.
I'm
falling right back into it.
It's that projection of your pain, too.
Yeah,
and that's
100%.
how you protect yourself.
And I look back on
then.
I look back on it now, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry for, like, how I treated you then.
The cold shoulder. That was cold, baby. It was 85 degrees at night, but Jesus Christ, it was below 19 Celsius.
It was cold. So me, Matthew, and Anthony are all diabetic, and he had some extra medical supplies that he didn't need, and it was stuff that I could have used. And, you know, he brought it, and I was just like, you know, regardless, like, I really appreciate it anyway. So he was there, and he found a way to sit right next to me, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, this is a joke. This kid got jokes, man. And when I tell you I did not even give him eye contact, I gave one-word answers when he tried to talk to me. I didn't hug him or nothing, and... oh,
little Nicole.
Yeah.
You've grown so much since then.
I have.
I'll cheers to that.
Operating, like, from love now, because that was from a really hurt place. But, you know, we got the whole summer on video. We made it a movie. It's almost a half hour long, and I swear, if I could say, name only one thing you learned that summer, I can name a million. But one, more of, like, on a surface level.
Yeah, because we weren't as deep as we are now.
Yeah, but, like, on a surface level thing, but also wholesome, record and take as much pictures as possible, because the memories I have from that summer, looking back on it, and the fact that, like, you made it a movie, like, with the whole, like, about 30 minutes long, music, edits, the credits, all that, like, dude... I'm gonna have that the rest of my life to show like a decade from now, being like, all right, 2019, this is what we were doing. It's just, I love it. Like, talk about cancer and nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I totally do. I swear to God, I love doing that stuff so much, especially so. This year I did it too. I had a little malfunction during Mercury retrograde. I'm blaming that, but I also feel like at the same time it's like karma coming back to me. Fucked up my external hard drive. So I have to go send it for a data repair. But I have so much more content from 2022 of just all the family, us all hanging out, doing, like, we went pumpkin picking. We were going through a corn maze, and we were, like, playing, like, the little kid games and the ducks and stuff, like, going down the water. We have, like, the country night on there. And I look back at pictures, and I'm like, I'm so grateful for you guys. All homo. I'm going to cry. Like, because so... Let's fast forward our relationship. We spent 2019, then we had Halloween come up, spooky season, and then a couple months after, COVID hit.
I'm going to interject real quick.
You want to talk about fall?
Yeah, because fall is a very, very...
It's a turning point, honestly.
An extreme turning point.
I was going to skip right over it, but you know what? This is something to be.
Yeah, you know what? It's part of the story, and it's how I got to where I got to now, and it's all good.
Also us, I forgot, right after Christmas time. Yeah, I would love to talk about what happened between us as well. I think it's a really real thing, and I'm so proud about how we overcame that, especially as two females. But we'll get into that first, because we're going on the timeline right now, so hit it in October.
So, basically, fall semester, so now I'm a sophomore in college. Fall 2019 rolls around, and to keep it very surface level and short, because I'm not, don't want to disrespect the relationship I'm in right now, but at the time, I found myself in another relationship, and I had to pull my energy back, really protect myself. And
take your power back.
Yeah,
you're trying to move on and do better for you.
Right, because, at the time... Really, like, when we broke up in the beginning of the year, it was, like, on some, we were, like, we have no idea where we're going to end up in the future. But, right now, it's not happening.
Yeah, holding on by a thread isn't good for any of you.
This isn't the path that we're meant to be on. So, fall, I find myself in another relationship, and I just pulled my energy back. I had to really start setting firm boundaries, which was... hard, because like we said before, not only was it hard because this was someone I felt like in a way like I kind of grew up with as well, because I got with him when I was like so young, and was still friends with him. I would be setting boundaries, and then we'd go out. You'd be like at the haunted house. Yeah. And I was just like...
Yo, Matt's a real one for that too. Like, because not for nothing, he could have been a complete asshole. But I do respect Matt and his character, because he was
carried himself very well.
Yeah, like, truly set the tone for everybody in those moments. Like, inspired to be like...
100%, because let me say this, if it was the other way around and that was me...
Guns a-blazing.
Oh, man. And then, I mean, there's not much to say about that scenario other than just, like, I had to start setting boundaries. And it was one of those moments where you just wake up one day and you're like, oh my God, I'm in a whole new chapter. Whatever was happening in the spring and the summer where he was, like, around, and it was like, you know, in the summer I was giving him a cold shoulder, but, like, if we still message, like, there was still very wholesome things that happened between us.
Copacetic.
Yeah, like, we would still, honestly, over the summer, when we had the opportunity to speak, like, he congratulated me for getting into the school I got into, and we would, like, I sent him songs. I was just like, hey, like, I know you're out there doing your thing, but some new music dropped, and I think you'd really like these. And, you just made a face, you're like, I'm gonna cry.
No, literally.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, like, it can't even, the friendship that I thought we were building, like, how we were learning to be cordial, that couldn't be there either.
Yeah, out of respect for the new relationship, too.
That was hard. That was a tough one to swallow. But,
manage it. But all while this is happening, I'm going through my little thing myself. Back when I first met Nicole, I also met another person who I pursued in a romantic way. And I met this person through Nicole. This is about to get really messy, but kind of juicy. But it's a real story, and God, I don't know, I just think I'm so proud of how far we've come. But this person, Nicole, trying things out, didn't work out. I kind of swooped in at the time, not really thinking, because me and Nicole weren't friends like that yet.
Friendly enough, but it was very, like, kind of questionable at the time in terms of, like, where does girl code come in, because, like, what's the basis of our friendship? Exactly,
and it was totally sus, I admit that. So the whole entire summer I kept it on the DL. Honestly, Jen only knew what was going on between me and this other person. And in November because it was right after Friends Thanksgiving, we wound up going to a 18 plus club.
Oh, man.
In this shady fucking area. When I tell you, bro, it's like the number one crime place in America. I kid you not. And this kid then did what I did to Nicole, tried to get with one of my other friends right in front of me. And it just shattered me, because we weren't on, like, no title shit. We didn't have a relationship. But this was also the relationship I mentioned a lot, because it was a big wake-up call for me and led me to my spiritual path on just how to heal and how to deal with people who have been so wounded that they created unhealthy patterns to protect themselves, and that is manipulative patterns. So November comes around and I am shattered. This is a point where I'm cutting off this person. It was so hard to do, and I'm suffering in silence, because now I've grown so close to these people, but I felt like I couldn't, with this secret I had, go to them and lean on them for support, because I felt like now I'm such a shitty friend. Like, look what I did. Like, this person was in like Nicole's life first, and here I am now at the blunt end of it. And then eventually on New Year's, we have another person who we're both not that close with anymore comes to me and asks me, like, hey, like, is there something going on between you and this kid? And I remember we were at the diner and I just cried in front of her. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what happened. And then that night I wound up telling Nicole. Actually, I hit up Aunt first, because I didn't know how. Dude, I was so scared. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. But I feel like I have to, like, to get it off my chest. And then that night, I told Nicole everything. I was like, dude, this is what happened. And I know, like, you're probably perceiving this in such a shitty way, but XYZ, yada, yada. And Nicole, being the person who she was at the time, was like, I'm not going to let a guy ruin our friendship. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a little hurt, but these feelings will move past. So I was very thankful for that in the moment. And we were able to move past that. And then
that goes right into the new year, right? So
right before the Florida trip.
Yeah, so it goes
2020 in January.
So now, what happens with me, right? I get broken up with in the relationship that I was in, like 3 months total, I guess you can say, like, the talking stage, and then, like, the time that we actually dated, it was pretty much 3 months. Devastated. We were planning a trip, trying to be, like, spontaneous, because we had, like, the free time and the money to just be like, all right, we're gonna go visit Mia's cousin in Florida. And I was very, like, you know, I got back to this job because it was a job where, like, I was able to take the time off because of school, And then once I wasn't in school, I was like, I want to get right back into it. I want to make the money. I want to just have
grind.
my routine and grind for like, maybe next summer, whatever, right? And then I get broken up with, and I am heartbroken because I feel like the same patterns and the same themes are playing over again and again in my life.
Wait, pause. But this is so crucial, though, because
Yes.
that's what happens. You will be given the same lessons and the same patterns in a different body so you can grasp it and you can learn and work with it internally.
Yeah. And 2020, obviously, when you say 2020, we know what happened in 2020. But on a personal level, this is when I feel like really sets everything off.
Yeah.
Because, when you fast forward, when you get into fall of 2020, then comes the big boom between me and you. Not that...
Yeah.
The big boom.
The big boom. So...
basically, I get broken up with, and, at that rate, I message Aunt and Mia, and I'm like, guys... Let's do Florida.
Let's
do it. Let's plan it right now. Let's go. And I think it was like very fresh into the new year that happened. And by, I would say maybe the 7th.
Yeah.
It was like very early. Like we took off. We packed our bags and we left.
Yeah. We wound up getting, all three of us, so I told you we were at the dog walking job together. And because it was so spontaneous, but it was still enough time, like 2 weeks, I feel like, to tell our boss, like, hey, we're all not going to be here. She wound up firing all of us because also, which makes no fucking sense, we were, like, her only worker. So if we're not there, who is she going to delegate to? And at that time, I was already getting fed up with this boss because she was a terrible boss.
Very unfair.
And she was super unprofessional, unorganized.
Yeah. She knew.
But she had a lot on her plate, to be fair. But, like, at the same
100%.
time, you have to learn how to delegate. And not to these kids that are supposed to be just walking dogs.
We were just college kids.
Yeah, like, you have me doing fucking paperwork and dealing with legal matters. Like, where does that link up?
Me too.
So, it was a blessing, though, in disguise. At first, we were all kind of butthurt. But then we're like, well, we're going to Florida. We'll figure it out when we get home. We go to Florida. We get down there. We drive down there. We stayed over in Savannah.
Cancer full moon while we're down there.
The first day, it was the Cancer full moon. We get there at night. We're waiting for my cousin to come home from work or school. I think his work was at the school. Mm-hmm. He's like a student aide or whatever. And we're all just sitting on the beach underneath the full moon. And honestly, I'm so hurt about the whole situation that was going on with me and this kid. And then how I just went about it with my friends. And Nicole's hurting over this relationship that ended. Yeah. And when I was just telling Nicole, too, in the car, I'm like, it's not a coincidence when you travel. Pay attention to that. Because the physical distance does so much for the mind, body,
in your hometown,
and spirit. Yeah, and wow, we really needed each other. We spent about 4 or 5...
I would say it was like 5 or 6 days we were there.
Yeah, in Florida. Having the time of our lives, going out, hanging by the water. We went kayaking and paddleboarding, and we saw dolphins, and...
It was the most healing thing that... There was nothing else that you could have done that would have healed you more than to take a road trip.
With your family, basically.
Yeah. Can I say across the country? Down the country?
Down the coast.
Down the coast, yes.
18 hours, to be exact. Not stopping, but we had to stop, so it was probably like 20 hours.
Yeah. Dude, we still talk about that to this day. And yes, we made a movie out of that trip too.
Oh my god, yeah, there's a little vlog of that.
Montage.
I tell you, man, record everything. You're gonna want it. I love doing that. It's like how like my creative kid inside of me like flourishes. So
I think we get back from Florida and like I feel like spending the time down there together really started to put us back on the right track, because I remember telling me, I was like, this trust is not completely gone and broken. I'm hurt, but like this is something we're gonna have to build back up. And I feel like after that trip, we were definitely on the right track. A lot of healing took place, and we were ready to go.
So, I think we're gonna cut it there. We got a lot more of this story to go.
2-parter.
Yeah.
We don't want to drop like an hour and a half long episode.
No, I mean I would, but I think this is gonna be a really dope thing to do 2 parts. So
I feel like the better part comes in part 2. Like this part right here is laying the foundation. Yeah. And then part 2 is when shit really hits the fan.
Yeah, dude, give me back the brain cell, because you're taking all the words out of my mouth. I was gonna say, yeah, shit is hitting the fan. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this episode and you really liked it, go ahead and feel free to leave me a like, a comment, a review, a share. If you shared on your Instagram stories, go ahead and tag at the Soul Way Podcast. That's the podcast Instagram. And you can tag my personal, and you can follow me, come hang out, see what I'm doing on the day-to-day at mia.cromaldi. Nicole, you want to leave anything for the people?
Yeah, I mean, my Instagram is at Nicole F. Greco. That's my Instagram. I don't really have no business pages or anything. But if you do have any type of spiritual page on Twitter, I make my Twitter not like all for spiritual stuff. Mm-hmm. So let me know what your Twitter is so I can follow you.
Yeah, send it in the DMs, guys. So, again, thank you so much for joining us and tuning in and listening to a little part 1 of this 2 or 3 parts. We don't know yet. We'll see. Knows. Yeah, whoever knows. And we will catch you on the next wave. Bye.